This is just a quick and simple short video that I'm making for fun and because I'm thinking of traveling to Mexico, but all you hear is really bad news, that there are plenty of good reasons to explore Mexico. These are just a few of the good things that have happened to me in the 4.5 months since I arrived in Mexico. We came for an indefinite period of time to explore Mexico and find a new pueblo to settle down in, perhaps. And the 4.5 months have been wonderful. These are just highlights of some of the great things that have happened to me in the last 4.5 months.
Sometimes the best things that happen are the things that don't happen to you at all. In this category, I'd say one of the biggest things I'm grateful for is being waved through checkpoints in Sonora and Sinaloa. After hearing of others' torturous experiences, being searched, patted down, having their vehicles turned inside out during an inspection, or being harassed by corrupt police officers or others, I feel super grateful and very lucky that we didn't have to go through any of that. Number one, all the beauty we've seen in Mexico from Mazatlan and the Pacific coast at La Manzanilla, all the way to Tequisquiapan. In the 4.5 months we've traveled from Oregon in the US down the Pacific coast and then inland to see some of the places I've always wanted. Mazatlan's Old Town, also known as Centro Histórico, is a treasure trove of charm and history. Colonial-era buildings with ornate facades and wrought iron balconies lining cobblestone streets. The area exudes a vibrant, relaxed atmosphere that seemed happy to me, but maybe that's because it was the first stop I was really looking forward to. Guanajuato was my favorite mid-sized city. Stroll through the labyrinthine streets with vibrant houses in pink, orange, and yellow cascading down the hillsides. The narrow alleyways, often lined with artisan shops and cafes, invite wandering and discovery. The city's unique underground tunnels, once used for mining and now functioning as roads, add a distinctive charm to this fairy tale-like town. If I was going to choose a city to live in, it would probably be Guanajuato. Tequisquiapan, the lovely small town with the beautiful pink church. Tequis is known for lively festivals and friendly people. With the great city of Queretaro close by, great cheese and wineries, and hot springs, I love this little town. When we were there, the weather was perfect.
These are but a few of the jewels that I've explored in Mexico. There are many more that I haven't shown and many more to come.
Number two, the vet in La Manzanilla making 3 house calls for Vigo when we really needed help. Maybe it was the assistance of a new friend named Dorothy, who has been a resident there for decades, but I was touched at how easy the vet Abraham made getting Vigo some health care when he was sick. And as I said in the video I made then, I would have gone bankrupt in the States for services like that, but it was very affordable in La Manzanilla, and he really helped Vigo. Number 3, our good luck with rentals. All of the rentals we've stayed at have been decent, if not wonderful, and the owners have been nice and have given me good deals.
This has been a great and very comfortable Airbnb. I would recommend it, so if you want to know anything about it, drop me a line and I will refer you.
I had a dream once that the Airbnb I was stuck in was infested with giant rats. When you're invested in a rental for a period of time, you depend on the decency of the space and the location. If there really was a problem with rats or, say, security or something important like that, it could cost a lot of money to change accommodations, not to mention the stress of moving last minute under bad circumstances. I've been super lucky with my rentals, and it's been mainly a very good experience, and I've met some very kind people. Number 4, the young man at Los Mochis who helped me with my car. We had been traveling quickly, many miles in just a few days. The dogs were stressed and so was I. We had just spent a bad night in a hotel and I was anxious to get out of there when my car's trunk would not latch. The car, filled to the brim with my things and dogs, would not stay shut at the trunk, and we still had many miles of highway driving left to do. The truth is, I probably could have buckled up the car by myself, but I was not in a good state of mind, and having the kind assistance of the AutoZone guy really helped. Number 5. This one goes along with the AutoZone guy. It's the kindness of strangers. It was just last week when I had taken Vigo out for a walk in the early afternoon. It started to rain as usual and we hurried back home. The long key to the door went in but wouldn't turn. I tried again and again. I realized I hadn't brought my phone or anything else but the keys. I tried again. I knew I needed help and looked around the busy street. I called out to a man walking on the other side, "Señor, me ayuda por favor." The man set down what he was carrying and tried the lock. I tried to explain that I was renting this Airbnb. He asked if there was anyone else inside. Nope. Soon the man saw someone he knew on the street and called him over. He explained my predicament and the new guy tried the lock. I said, "The owner's name is Violeta. Do you know her?" They said, "What's her last name?" And I said, I don't know. Soon the original guy saw another guy he knew in the street and called him over and explained. I said, "Maybe I should talk to the police?" No, they said in unison. "Clearly that's not who you call for help around here." One of the guys went around the corner and spoke to the shops nearby. Someone knew Violeta's sister who worked up the block. Yay! To make a long story short, we got a hold of Violeta and she came and could not get the door open either. It took a couple of hours, but she found someone to climb up to the roof, break into the house, and open the front door. Meanwhile, this nice lady had me sit and wait at her house with Vigo while she figured it out in the rain. She got it done, and when we went back to the open door, she showed me that the little knob on the inside had turned too far and kept the key from working. This is designed this way on purpose, and I had never noticed. The knob got turned too far during my use the last few days and tightened the deadbolt. So the whole thing was my fault. And if it weren't for the kindness of these 4 people, me and Vigo would have had to sleep on the sidewalk that night. Not only did these 3 men help me, I got the feeling that they wouldn't leave me until we got it figured out. They were so kind and I was so grateful. And Violeta, who spent hours correcting my mistake, would not accept any money. I'm sure she paid someone to break into the house. So the generosity and the sweetness and the kindness of people here in Villa del Carbon and in Mexico really impresses me and it touches my heart. When you're traveling alone, oftentimes you rely on the kindness of strangers, and in Mexico that never fails. People are so nice and I'm so impressed and touched. This last one on my list of great things that have happened to me since I got to Mexico is one of many, and there's so many more that I haven't even spoken about. This one is very personal. When I got laid off at my job in January, I was deeply unhappy. I had been working as a nurse in the hospital for decades, and I had become very burnt out and unhappy with it. I really hated it, but I wouldn't allow myself to make any other choice. I needed to keep working. So when the unexpected layoff came, I was completely surprised, and I immediately started thinking about getting another job, of course. But I dreaded it. I dreaded the thought of it. So this layoff kind of forced me to think outside my own box, and I took a very close look at my savings account and decided to say, I'm going to Mexico. And that's what we did. So we've been on the road for the last 4.5 months in Mexico, traveling by car, and we've seen countless towns and lovely areas of Mexico.
So many places, and there's been some real jewels, as I already showed you in my video. But the best part about this new lifestyle for me is that it's completely different. Going from 10-hour miserable work days when I was exhausted to becoming an explorer in Mexico, my life has totally changed. And I'm so happy that I can't even describe it. When I used to be miserable at work, it took so much of my energy that I didn't have any energy left over for anything fun or fulfilling. And I'm so glad that I took the chance and made the decision to come to Mexico. This complete change in my lifestyle has had amazing effects on me. On the inside, I'm more content than I think I ever have been in my life, just generally. And on the outside, this has manifested in many ways, but one of the biggest ways is I've had a 25-pound weight loss without even trying. I've been traveling in Mexico for about 2.5 months now, and it wasn't my intention, but I have lost a significant amount of weight. I tell my friends it's weight loss through happiness, and it's true. I was carrying around some extra weight and comforting myself with food when I was exhausted, and now that craving just isn't there anymore. So although my clothes don't fit very well anymore and I need some new clothes, and I don't really want to buy new clothes right now, but that's a small worry, no big deal. It's just one of the manifestations of being happy. And I want to encourage you, if you're thinking about traveling or going to Mexico and all you ever hear is bad things, I want to encourage you and let you know that good things can happen too. Most people in the world are kind, and I'm very happy to have made this change. And I want to encourage any of you out there who are thinking about moving to Mexico or traveling and your fears are holding you back. I'm so glad to have taken the risk and made the move. And sometimes taking a risk and making a move, taking a leap, is the best possible thing you can do. I'm glad I allowed myself to make the change that I needed to make. To be that unhappy for years is not good for the soul. Now every day is a new adventure, and I look forward to the days ahead. We were not meant to just pay bills and make money. And though it's a risk, I do not have any regrets about not getting another awful job and instead making this journey into the unknown.